and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about when to say when and how to do it. Hey Janine.
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. I'm recording from beautiful Walla Walla, Washington.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Sorry we're not together recording, but we're at least within a few hundred miles of each other.
I know. For whatever reason, it always feels nice when
we're in the same time zone.
Yeah. It's funny. I was in New York last week, and I know a couple of people in the area, and it was like we weren't able to get together, but it just felt nice, like being in the same time zone for a change.
Yeah, it reminds me of back in the day when you would fly through a city, and because you were in, let's say you flew through Cleveland, and they had a friend in Cleveland. They had a layover. You'd call that friend,
right?
Because from a payphone, because it wasn't a long distance call, I guess.
Right. But also back in the day when security wasn't a big deal, and you could actually someone could meet you. I remember having layovers in the Bay Area, and my friends would come and meet me, and we'd go eat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and I have enjoyed a meal at the Portland airport during a layover of mine.
I think so.
Would have been post 9/11, but still we did it because my layover was so long. I was willing to go through security twice. Again.
Yeah.
Oh, we're off topic. So when you said that we're talking about when to say when, I thought to myself, I wonder if people think that we're going to announce that we're stopping the podcast.
Oh, no.
No.
That never occurred to me.
I know,
but no,
just occurred
that
to me.
is not what this is about.
No.
No, it's about when to stand up for yourself, when to pull the plug, sort of when to call it instead of, taking it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us what sparked this?
Well, so we were just in New York, and we had an Airbnb that turned out to be less than stellar. And I had taken a shower in the evening, and it was so awful. I woke up in the morning thinking, I need to get flip-flops before I take a shower again. And then I was like, wait a second. This is unacceptable. Yeah. We just need to move somewhere else. There was already a number of things that were an issue. This is a New York City apartment, and they don't have a key for the deadbolt. And there's 2 windows that open up onto a fire escape. Neither of them close all the way and latch.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. So, there was a number of things that were at play, but when I woke up thinking, I need to get flip-flops before I take a shower.
Hilarious. Your task list wasn't, I need to get out of this Airbnb. It was, I need to get to Target or wherever. Flip-flops. Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally thinking, I wonder where I could get some cheap flip-flops. and then I realized, no, I think it's time to say when and make a different decision. Mm-hmm. And luckily we were in a position where we had a lot of points through a credit card, and we found an amazing hotel. And it makes me think of some of the decision-making conversations we had, because I said, I want a bed, a sofa, or at least 2 comfortable chairs, and a mini fridge. Those are my prerequisites. Uh-huh. And then Mike started looking while I was sort of dealing with Airbnb, and found it was a Marriott Residence Inn, and it had an actual kitchenette.
Oh, not just a mini fridge.
And a sofa, and a really comfortable chair, and like an island that had 2 chairs at it so we could like sit and eat meals, and
wow.
and a big beautiful king bed, and we were on the 21st floor with an amazing view where like we moved from the Airbnb to this place, and then it just started pouring rain. Mm-hmm. And then we were treated to the most stunning rainbow over the New York skyline I've ever seen.
That's amazing.
And it just felt like, oh, thank God we did this.
Right. And you were in it was a well located hotel, if I remember.
Yeah.
Like better, like more out of the way, less out of the way, more in the way.
More
better.
Yeah, more better. It was, we weren't in Times Square, it's Midtown. It was sort of Garment District, Midtown. And so the trip was focused on Broadway shows. And so it was like a 10 or 15 minute walk to get to the shows. And it was fun because, we'd be walking through Times Square, but we didn't have to sort of deal with Times Square every day.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So it ended up being really great. And so we got this amazing hotel because of the points for less than we paid for the Airbnb. And I was sort of feeling like, since, the points didn't feel like actual money, like, well, even if we don't get the money back from Airbnb, or we don't get all of it back, then, I don't feel that bad. Like, it's not financially, it's not a huge crunch. Mm-hmm. But I presented my case to Airbnb. They said, you have to contact the host. I contacted the host. He gave me a full refund. And then I contacted Airbnb and said, he gave me a full refund. How about you guys? And then they gave me a full refund. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I was really just hoping that we'd get a refund for the remainder of the stay.
Right. Because you spent what, one night there?
We spent 2 nights there.
2 nights there. Yeah. Well, that is great, and I know you're very good at presenting your case. You've proven that over and over again. But I'm wondering whether you hesitated at all. I mean, were you concerned that it wasn't going to work out?
Well, yeah, I was a little concerned. Like, I had this sort of feeling like, what if we're, jumping from the frying pan into the fire? Like, what if we get something worse? Because originally I was looking at another Airbnb, and then I was like, wait, we just need to go to a hotel where, it's like
more predictable.
More predictable, exactly. Yeah. And, but, so I did feel like, oh, what if it's worse? What if, it's super expensive? What, all of these things.
It's more stressful? What if the process of moving is more stressful than the process of staying? And
right.
Not the process, but the experience of staying. But
yeah.
But no, you let it be easy, it sounds like.
Yeah, we totally let it be easy. We did Uber. We took public transportation from the airport to the Airbnb with our luggage and everything. But we just decided, pack up everything. We're just going to take an Uber and not worry about, we're not going to try and get there by subway or anything. Mm-hmm. And we got to the hotel, and it was fantastic. And later Mike did say, I probably wouldn't have pulled the plug. I would have just made do, but I'm really glad that you did.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's reminding me of my little trip from Kansas City in my new car, where I finally threw in the towel and spent the night on the road, and was so glad I did. Yeah. Because you don't need to be a hero. Right? You don't have to drive till you're exhausted, or stay in the place that's icky, even if it gives you a decent story.
Right. Yeah. And then, we got a better story of how we ended up in the best possible place.
Would you stay in that hotel again?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's a good. And did you not consider a hotel when you were originally planning?
Well, when we were originally planning, like I was thinking more like we wanted a kitchen, and because we wanted to cook. And then when we were deciding to make a different choice, I said, "Do we really need a kitchen?" And Mike's like, I said, "I don't think we're going to cook, are we?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "I would like a fridge because, we had like granola and yogurt and stuff that I wanted to be able to keep in the fridge, or like if we had leftovers from going out or something, we could not throw them away. We could keep them and eat them." And so that sort of freed it up. But then we found one with a kitchen anyway.
And did you end up using the kitchen?
No, I mean, we used the microwave and used the refrigerator, but we didn't actually cook anything.
Right.
Yeah, but it was just, it was a little stressful to make the decision to call it and make a different choice, but it really did end up being the best possible situation, best possible decision.
Do you think that if someone's trying to decide to call it, that like the first step is perhaps getting in touch with what's important to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like so many things.
Right.
And that's what I was thinking, when I woke up and I was thinking about like, oh, I need to get flip-flops. And then I'm like, wait a minute. We have 6 more nights. I am not going to be comfortable. Like, it's going to impact my enjoyment of this trip staying here.
Absolutely. You come home from an amazing Broadway show and feel icky where you're staying. That would not have been good.
And unsafe.
Right.
Yeah, so but I will tell you, I didn't realize how much anxiety I had being there until we were gone. Until we got to the hotel, and then I felt like I could really relax. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if I was just sort of so locked into trying to make the best of it that I wasn't really letting myself feel how anxious I was.
You were trying to tolerate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah. So, but I think that is something worth checking into. And it sort of reminds me of long ago, I realized, if you go into a restaurant and it takes a long time for them to seat you, and then it takes a long time for them to bring you a menu, and then it takes a long time for them to bring you water, you should just cut your losses right there and just get out, because it's not going to get better.
Right. It's true.
And so, sort of recognizing that, sort of what feels okay to you and what feels like something you're tolerating. And what are you willing to tolerate, and what do you really not need to tolerate?
Yeah, and that can shift, right? So I'm thinking about like, oh, well, there's so many things. But my van that I drove for 4 years, which served its purpose because I needed a van, and yet I was tolerating so much in terms of driving comfort and visibility and all that stuff. And then once I got out of it into a more enjoyable car, like, wow, how did I possibly put up with that for 4 years? Or sometimes we're putting up with things simply because we can't afford to make a change. And we save up our money until we can, or whatever it is. But yeah, once you've made the change and you called it, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of a little bit of a flip side of this is when on this trip to Walla Walla, I flew to Portland and rented a car. And then I drove to your house where you weren't.
Right.
But, yeah. So, the rental car situation is sketchy right now, right? There's a shortage of rental cars. I was a little afraid there wasn't going to be one, even though I had a reservation. But there was. And I had rented a full-size sedan. And the guy said, oh, we're going to upgrade you. And I'm putting air quotes around that, to a Kia Sportage, which is a perfectly acceptable small SUV. But I didn't want an SUV. And I'm like, well, what if I don't like it? Does it have all the modern conveniences? He said, you mean Apple CarPlay? And I said, yes, that's exactly what I mean. He said, I think it does. But if it doesn't, you just come back and we'll get you into something else. So I get to the car. It does have Apple CarPlay. It does not have automatic seats. It doesn't have a lot of things. This is literally the first car I've ever rented that wasn't as nice as the car I own.
Right.
Yeah. But it had 20,000 miles on it. My car is 600, right? The one in St. Louis. So I thought, okay, I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm going to go back because it was right next to a Nissan Altima, which would have been perfect, right? Because I'm now used to a Nissan. And so I go back to the counter on this in the garage, so it wasn't the same guy. And there was one other person ahead of me. I'm waiting, and I heard her say to him, "Would you like the Nissan Altima or the Chevy Malibu?" And he's like, "I don't care." And she said, "I'll give you the one with the lowest mileage." And then I said, "I want the Nissan Altima." And she said, "No, I just gave it to him." And I'm like, and that's when I called it. I'm like, "Janine, get over yourself." And so I said, "Okay, thanks." And I went back to my Kia Sportage. And you know what? It's fine. It's great. It's got it even has the lane thing. I didn't even.
Oh, really?
It took me half the trip to notice it. But, and it does have Apple CarPlay that works. And it does not have heated seats, yet it's not cold out. so it's okay. So it's funny because at first I was feeling sort of, I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm not going to settle for this. And then I realized, you know what? You just need to get to Shannon's house. It's really late. And you're tired. Just let it be good enough. And it's been great. And it turns out that the slightly higher SUV is actually better for my father and his older sister, who have been getting in and out, and my brother, who have been getting in and out of the car. So that getting out of a lower car is harder for them. So so it turned out for the best.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad I called it at that moment, even though
And sometimes it's hard to know when to stand up for yourself and sort of how assertive to be. But I think you had a good experience there. Like, had it been easy, like, this isn't really what I want, and asking for it and getting it, but also recognizing like, oh, it's getting more complicated to try and get what I want. This is fine.
I'm lucky to have a car at all.
Yeah. So, but there's sort of, it can be a little bit tricky to navigate that.
There's no perfect way to do it. That's for sure.
Right.
But that first step of getting in touch with what's important is really the key.
Yeah. Exactly. And then, I've had the most success just being nice to people.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of stating your case as pleasantly as possible. It seems like if you go in guns blazing, that's not so helpful.
Yep, that's my experience too. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this. This was a long time ago, almost 15 years ago. When I was flying back from New Zealand, our flight from Auckland to LA was delayed. And so I missed my flight, which was booked separately from LA to Portland. And unbeknownst to me, it was spring break. And there were like no flights. But I had already I have several friends in the LA area, and I had a place to stay, and they were going to get me. And, it was fine. So, I had sort of a backup plan, and still went to the window and said, you know what? If we can't get home tonight, it's fine. It would be really nice to, but, we know a lot of people are trying to get home. And the guy's like, oh, I don't know, let me see what I can do. And then he goes, have you checked any bags? Nope, just a carry-on. He was like, okay, here you go. Handed me the tickets. He bumped me up to first class.
Nice. And it's because you were nice.
Yeah, and he was like, everyone had, I just watched person after person after person yell at him. And just by saying, you know what, I know like this is a really difficult situation and this is what I would like to have happen. If it can't, that's fine. He was like, oh, if I can do someone a favor, it's going to be the person who doesn't yell at me.
Right. I'm going to have to give this first class seat to somebody. Might as well be to the nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, but so it was pretty funny then I had to like run to get on the flight because had already started boarding.
Uh-huh.
And I've been essentially camping for a month in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And I just have a backpack and like the same clothes that I've been wearing for a month. I mean, I washed them, but still, I was a little bit draggled. And then to go into first class, there were people who were giving me the stink eye for sure.
Were you stinky?
I wasn't stinky.
Oh, good. Just curious.
Although it had taken about 36 hours at that point to get home.
Yeah, you weren't fresh.
No, I was not fresh.
Right. But the super rich, like the actors and the rock stars, they probably look all grungy in first class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there have been a lot of situations where, to stand up for yourself in a pleasant way has gotten me pretty far.
Oh, yeah. The thing that I remember, it was in writing, but was that you were able to write a letter to the IRS and get what you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was I'll never forget that. That was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you could do workshops on this, Shannon.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is thinking about what's going on for the person on the other side.
Yes.
So what's their goal?
Mm-hmm.
And, approaching it from like, how can we both get our goals met here? Because the thing is, people who are in customer service, most of the time, except everyone has a bad day from time to time, but most of the time they want to provide you good customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So, make it as easy as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we would love to hear from you. When do you say when? You can let us know on social media. We're at Getting to Good Enough on Twitter or on Facebook and Instagram. And at GTG Enough on Twitter. You can head over to the show notes at gettingtogoodenough.com and leave a comment there, or you can give us a call and leave a message at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. Until next time, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in Walla Walla, Washington.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. Next episode will be with us together in person.
Yay, can't wait.
I know, me too.